Okay, so this has to do with masosadism. In fact, before we get into it, there's a masochist and a sadist one day talking, and the masochist says, beat me, beat me. And the sadist says, no. Think about it. Anyway, while you're thinking about it, this is a story about a huge factory that is a vegetable pickling, canning kind of place. And it's a really, really big place. They have their own company doctor. They have their own company psychiatrist. And one day, the foreman comes into the psychiatrist's office and he says, look, I got a worker that I'm a little concerned about here. And I'd like him to come and see you. And the psychiatrist says, sure. So about 5 minutes later, this fellow turns up. And the psychiatrist said, well, how you doing? And the fellow says, I'll tell you the truth, Doc, I don't know how I'm doing. And the doctor said, well, why? What's bothering you? And then the fellow says, I've got this weird desire. It occupies my mind almost all the time. And the psychiatrist said, well, what is it? And the fellow says, I want to put my dick in the pickle slicer. And the psychiatrist goes, whoa, no, stop and think about this now. That's going to be dangerous. It's going to be very harmful. You're going to injure yourself. This is not something you want to do. And the guy goes, yeah, but it just keeps occupying my mind. And the psychiatrist says, no, look, you know, there's a lot of repercussions to what you're thinking about here. If you go ahead and do that, you're going to be very sorry. You're going to be injured. You could be maimed, for Pete's sakes. You know, you don't want to do this. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to go away for this week, and I want you to just say to yourself, I do not want to put my dick in the pickle slicer. And every time that idea comes in your head, repeat that phrase, I do not want to put my dick in the pickle slicer. And I want you to come back at the end of the week, tell me how it's going, okay? How you dealing with it? And the guy says, okay, I'll give it a try. So off he goes. Well, come Friday afternoon, guy's back in the psychiatrist's office. Psychiatrist says, so have you been doing what I told you? And he said, yeah. Every time I think about it, I say I do not want to put my dick in the pickle slicer. And the psychiatrist says, well, does that help? And the guy goes, no, not really. To be honest with you, I'm obsessed with this idea, and I want to put my dick in the pickle slicer even more than I did before. And the psychiatrist goes, oh, geez, no, this is not good. Look, we've got to come to an understanding here. You would be very, very sorry. This is something that you can't undo if you do it. And you're going to get hurt. You don't want to get hurt, do you? And the guy goes, no. He says, well, how about next week you do the same thing that you did this week, and just keep telling yourself every time you think about it, I do not want to put my dick in the pickle slicer. And you come back on Friday and you tell me how you're doing, okay? And the guy goes, oh, okay, all right. I'll give it another try. So, another week goes by. Friday afternoon, the guy comes back. Doctor says, well, how's you feeling this week? And the guy says, Doc, I can tell you, it's just getting to be more and more. And the doctor said, have you been thinking about what I told you? Have you been saying what I told you? And the guy says, yeah. I keep saying I do not want to put my dick in the pickle slicer, but I got to be honest with you. I want to put my dick in the pickle slicer. And the doctor goes, oh, this is frustrating, and this is scary. I said, all right, look, let's try this one more week. If it just doesn't work, I'm going to have to get medication for you. And the guy goes, okay, all right, I'll give it another week. Give it a try. So off he goes. Well, next Friday, the guy comes back. Oh, it's just terrible. He's a mess. He's limping. He's got his arm in a sling. He's got a patch over one eye, bandage on his head. He's bloody. His whole outfit is bloody and everything else. And psychiatrist just looks at him and goes, "Oh, you gave in, didn't you?" And the guy says, "Yeah." And the psychiatrist said, "You went and put your dick in the pickle slicer anyway, didn't you?" And the guy says, "Yeah, I did. And the psychiatrist said, "And the pickle slicer just damaged you, injured you, didn't he?" And the guy says, No, it wasn't the pickle slicer. It was the pickle slicer's husband." Think about it.